Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome to the end of the regular season recap here today with the Chicago Bulls MyLeague. You'll find us at the end of the season 43-38 facing the 24-57 Philadelphia 76ers. We should win this game. I do know what actually happened at the end of this game, but you guys will have to find out at the end of the sim as we're getting farther into the game. The NBA playoffs in real life are starting. I probably could have played this game, but I decided I'd sim and get right into the playoffs since the playoffs in real life are going on. A few too many blowouts so far. Close game by the Mavs and Thunder last night, but we do end up losing this game to the Philadelphia 76ers, which was kind of a blow, but you do see the season awards here. Kevin Durant wins MVP. He had dang near 30 points per game this season. I do go right back to him. That's just an incredible season. I don't care what you say about Kevin Durant, the kind of game he had last night. Not very good against the Mavs, but that's just an incredible season. The Rookie of the Year, Jahlil Okafor, maybe that's why we lost at the end of the regular season. And then Sixth Man of the Year, Tim Duncan. You remember us playing him, he coming off the bench. And then look at this acquisition the Thunder made, DeAndre Jordan. That just made their team so much better when they had this earlier in the regular season. I forgot to show you guys, but man, he definitely, that's going to help them a lot. The Nicholas Batum made the most improved player. He had a very good season. If he had those kind of numbers in real life, I think CJ McCollum will win it. Coach of the Year will be Billy Donovan because they were 60-22 and better than Golden State Warriors, who were not able to get the NBA best record like they did in real life. And here's the All-NBA first team. Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Marc Gasol. Damian Lillard, another one of my most favorite player to watch in the NBA, along with Russell Westbrook. I love watching him as well. You can't go wrong with watching either one of those guys on a nightly basis. And Kevin Durant, he's just a beast, along with LeBron James. And Marc Gasol, I was kind of surprised about. You'll see his stats. He had a pretty good season, but I feel like they could have added another forward or something in the first team instead of adding just a center to complete a starting five. But nonetheless, I guess he had a pretty good season, and maybe it's about time he deserves one of those. He has been very solid of a player. Too bad he got hurt in real life. That's pretty costly to the Memphis Grizzlies. Second team, DeMarcus Cousins in this one with Paul George, Melo. Steph is in the second team because if you see, he does have the injury symbol next to him. He was injured for quite a bit of the season. And Kyle Lowry rounds out the second All-NBA second team. Paul George is a beast, so is Melo. Melo led the Knicks in our MyLeague to a 4th seed. You will see that in a minute. Steph Curry, another great season, but he was hurt too much for them really to give him the MVP or anything like that. And Kyle Lowry, who was also injured for most of the season, he is also in the second team. Then James Harden, Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker, love him. I love watching him. James Harden, they kind of struggle, the Houston Rockets. That's a tough team to watch if you watch them nightly or if you're a big fan of them. That's going to be hard to watch because they really shoot a lot of threes. And Dwight Howard has not been anything I think they expected him to. But the Brow, Chris Bosh, and Al Horford round out the third team. I love Anthony Davis, my favorite team, the Pelicans. And then an all-defensive first team would be Kyle Lowry, John Wall, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, who a lot of people thought should have won the Defensive Player of the Year in front of Kawhi Leonard in real life. And then DeAndre Jordan rounds out that as he won the Defensive Player of the Year in our MyLeague. But I think Kawhi Leonard definitely deserved that Defensive Player of the Year. He had a fantastic year defensively, offensively. Does a lot more for the Spurs than Draymond Green does for the Golden State Warriors. All defensive second team, Jimmy Butler, our man, wins that, or gets into that saying, along with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. I didn't quite get to see the rest. All rookie first team, D'Angelo Russell's on that one. I like D'Angelo Russell a lot. Same with Kristaps Porzingis. A lot of people thought that was the worst draft pick from the New York Knicks, but a lot of people are proven wrong now because he had a very good rookie campaign. Too bad they didn't make the playoffs and he got some sort of experience with that. But he still had a very good year, and playing with Melo in the future could help him a lot. But you do see the playoff picture. We are down there in the 6th seed, facing off against the Indiana Pacers. And well, we did lose that last game, and that was very costly for us because the Milwaukee Bucks ended up winning their game 82 and got the 5th seed to play the Knicks. And I am not looking forward to playing the Cleveland Cavaliers if we make it even past the Indiana Pacers, who are going to be another tough matchup. I'll show you their stats, but Paul George will be a tough man to stop. But you see the rest of the NBA, OKC versus Denver, Houston versus Memphis, Golden State, Houston, Spurs, Clippers, that'll be a good series, and Heat, Nets, and then Knicks, Bucks, Cavs, Pistons, and then Pacers, Bulls. Some very good series and even more realistic series in here. You got teams like the Warriors against the Rockets, and the Cavs against the Cavs versus the Pistons. There we go. Finally thought of it. But here's our end of the year stats. Some people I was impressed with. I really like how Jimmy Butler actually took over quite a bit of the scoring role this year. We definitely need him to do that, as we're not as much of a defensive team after Tom Thibodeau left and they brought in Fred Hoiberg. But I think Jimmy Butler can still progress beyond what he did this year. I think he's a more of a mid-20s to high 20-point per game guy, especially for this team. We're going to need him to be. And I know he's a guy that locks down your other team's best player, but I think he can be like a Kawhi Leonard and really score and be one of our top scorers, as well as locking down your best player. And I feel like he'll definitely adapt to that role, but he's got to keep him in Chicago. He's a great player with a lot of potential. He's still kind of young, and he's got a lot of potential there to be great for us. Pau Gasol had another great year. He's just getting much, much older, but still producing at a high level. Love the way he played. Derrick Rose, I felt like, came back to his MVP kind of season form, but I think he still needs another year or two injury-free before he gets back into that, and this may be his last chance next year, the year after that, to really return to it before he gets up in age. And Avery Bradley, I love the acquisition we made during the season. He's going to be very beneficial here in the playoffs and moving forward. Taj Gibson had a fantastic season. He had great numbers for us. Nikola Mirotic off the bench was fantastic for us as well. Aaron Brooks, I love the way he hit shots. And one person I was disappointed with was Doug McDermott. I started him in the middle of the season, towards the beginning actually. I decided to put him in the small forward starting role, but he was not as good as I thought he was going to be. He took over for Tony Snell, who really kind of got the short end of the stick because he did not play well, or play a lot after we kind of benched him. Doug McDermott's going to need to prove to me that he's going to be beneficial for this team down the long road, because otherwise I can put Avery Bradley at the 2 and Jimmy Butler at the 3, and I'll definitely be satisfied with that. But here's the Indiana Pacers. One thing we are lucky about that I'm so glad is Monte Ellis. He'll see his injury there after Paul George, their leading scorer. He did everything for this team and really put him on his back for the 3rd seed. But you do see Monte Ellis right there. That's very crucial for the team that he is injured, because that guy is good. Torn left calf muscle. This doesn't sound good, but he is out 6 to 8 weeks and will not be back, especially for this series. Maybe if they go deep into the playoffs, he'd be back, but even then, maybe not, because that's about a month and a half, 2 months, and that's hard to get back from. But even after him, you see CJ Miles has an injury too. That's both would have been their starting shooting guard, and Monte Ellis. Then their backup shooting guard, and CJ Miles, is injured as well. So they really have a tough time at the guard position there, because they got to fill the small forward position filled very well with Paul George. George Hill's a solid point guard. Miles Turner's coming to form in real life. He's going to be probably pretty good in the future. Lavoy Allen's a pretty good power forward, a nice role player for this team. And then they needed just someone like Monte Ellis to be their shooting guard and play well like he did for most of the season before he got hurt. And we're pretty lucky that he got hurt at this point in the season, because otherwise we probably would have had a matchup nightmare somewhere with putting Jimmy Butler on Paul George, but I probably would have done, and then have McDermott on Monte Ellis. That does not sound too good for us. But we got pretty lucky at that. You'll see the rest of their team here: Jan Mahinmi, Rodney Stuckey. Jordan Hill had a pretty good rebounding. Your 10 rebounds per game is pretty good at a guy like him. But they were good enough. I don't know how long Monte Ellis has been hurt. I don't know how long a torn left calf muscle keeps you out for. So I don't know if he's been hurt towards the end of the regular season or what. But either way, they got themselves a 3rd seed. So they got to be pretty good of a team. And it's going to be, either way, a tough matchup going into Indiana and beating Paul George's led Pacers. So here's finally the transactions throughout the year. See a lot of re-signings and just the trades that happen throughout the year. The small ones, the big ones like Tony Allen for J.R. Smith, or Brooke Lopez and Tristan Thompson trading teams, along with the DeAndre Jordan for Enes Kanter trade. You see a bunch of those throughout this thing. But I'm going to go through my prediction for our series. I do think we are going to win the series thanks to the Monte Ellis injury. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about it. I think I'm going to sim the first 2 games, play game 3 for the first series, or the first part of this opening series. I'll probably play all of the Eastern semifinals, but I might not show them all. I'm not quite sure yet. But I'll probably sim the first 2 games, and I'm hoping we can split away from home in Indiana. If we can win one of those first 2 games, that'll be big. They're coming back to Chicago for the next 3. As long as we can get 2 of those, that'll put us at about 3-2 advantage going to Game 6 in Indiana, and maybe we can squeak that one out. Or no, it would be at home, wouldn't it? Yeah, because they'd have Game 7 in Indiana. So I think we'd still win the series in 6 at home in Chicago, but we'll have to find out how that does go. I do think the Thunder are going to breeze through the Western Conference, but somebody like the San Antonio Spurs are just always good, so it's going to be hard to stop them. You do see the playoff picture one more time. Like I said, I think OKC is going to breeze through that. Portland, I think, is going to win that, even though Marc Gasol is here here in the video game and not like real life. Then Golden State Warriors will blow out the Rockets. I also think that the San Antonio Spurs will beat the Clippers. I do think maybe the Warriors will beat the Spurs if Steph Curry is healthy in this video game. I saw he does have the injury still by him, so I don't know if he's healthy or not. Then the Heat will beat the Nets. I do think that the Bucks will give the New York Knicks a very, very good run here in the playoff series, but I do think maybe the Knicks might win that one. That'll be a tough series to predict. Then LeBron's just going to wreck the Pistons like usual, and I'm hoping we can upset the Indiana Pacers with a hurt Monte Ellis. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode, and I'm excited for the playoffs like if you are. As always, I'm out. Peace.